Hey guys, big welcome back, and today I'm bringing you some clips testing out my new DJI Osmo 2. Well, new to me, I bought it used off of Facebook or whatever, but for 200 bucks, I think this camera is pretty awesome, and we're out ripping my new to me 1990 DR200 dirt bike or enduro, whatever. Um, so I haven't really done much to the bike other than set up the handlebars a little more. The fellow I bought it off was like in the process of putting new handlebars on and shit, and didn't quite get around to finishing it. So I still got stuff to do. But anyway, I had to just get it good for the ride. But unfortunately, a couple of things were working against us this day. One, the trail was completely mudded out. Two, I forgot to press record the first time I went for a lap out here, because I went through some like crazy deep mud, like the bike was buried down to the hubs, which I'm going to avoid going that way on this little clip. And then the other thing that was working against us is, unfortunately, the bike, like it needs a bit of love. I gotta pop the carb off and clean it. It doesn't want to stay running at idle in gear. I could probably just bring the idle screw up. That might be all it needs, but for what it's worth, I'm going to go ahead and pop it off and clean it all out. Probably make a video of that, because why not? And here you can see that my plan of cutting through here to avoid the big puddles did not work out, and I stall it. And I'm going to screw around a bunch of times here, so unfortunately, you guys just have to sit and watch my bullshit. What I'll tell you about this bike in case you're interested in the bike. So 1990 DR200, it's street legal enduro. For us here in Ontario, Canada, that means it's a blue plate bike, which I went to the ministry the other day to try to transfer it. And dual sport bikes like this, you can actually get a green plate for. You got to sign like an affidavit or whatever saying that it's weird. It says like that you've made the bike adequate for trail use or something. Like ultimately, the lady at the MTO didn't know how to do it, and she was sitting on hold for somebody in an office that would tell her how, and I didn't have time. I had to get back to work, so I just left well enough alone and didn't bother plating it. But anyway, in the spring, the idea is to once I get my M1, get it through safety, and then I have a bike that I can actually cruise on the road. Yeah, obviously this bike's nothing fancy, it's old, but for a first street bike, or dual purpose, whatever, enduro, I'm happy enough with it for 1,500 bucks. I gotta put some bolts back in, like the bolts there are not holding. Oops, that's me, I'm holding on the throttle. The throttle actually sticks a little bit. He had said he bought some stuff off Amazon, so it had like Amazon brake handles, brakes, the pull handles and mirrors, and I think the throttle, the grips. Anyway, the throttle sticks; it doesn't spring back on its own. So probably not the safest thing. I'll have to deal with that. And then already ordered, but Amazon delayed my order, some riding gloves and a proper kill switch, because you can see the kill switch dangling there. And what I'll tell you is this may or may not have been Mexico, or may not have been along the Seaway Canal in Thorold or Thorold South. Yeah, so these ruts were all too much. So I'll tell you about this little trail here. Is this trail you're not actually... You used to not be, because years ago you weren't allowed to drive four-wheelers in here, but now I guess it's taken over by like an ATV Club of Niagara or something like that, so I'm guessing it's okay. And I've got a Honda ATV, but it's only two-wheel drive, and when you see some of the trail, like unfortunately you guys didn't get to see the other way I'd gone, but yeah, the water was just so deep. It wasn't... I don't even think my quad would have done very well in there. It may have, though. It's hard to say for sure, but this was mostly about getting out and trying to go for a rip. Oh, I forgot to tell you, the red bike that was by my truck, my son was there with it, and that's just one of those like Orion 250 bikes, that one I bought for $100. But unfortunately, when we got it, the shock was bent, the rear shock, And when he went through the ditch to try to get up onto the trail, the shock actually split and broke, which drops the rear end right down on the wheel. So unfortunately that bike is out of commission. And then I said to him, realistically, he wasn't getting that through these trails anyway. Probably, because it's about a 3/4 size bike. So even this bike with these tires, these are not mud tires. These are like, the dual sport tires. So they got some tread on them, but they're more meant for like, the dry trail. So unfortunately stall it out again. And DJI Action mobile, no, DJI Action, not mobile. The camera, basically I'm using this on a chest strap right now. And because I want to be doing videos, I'm looking forward to do like moto vlogs too. I'd love some feedback if you guys would think that this view is better, or the helmet mount. If you guys, any of you watch bike videos, like helmet mount under the helmet, like at the front, or do you prefer the side where you see part of the helmet and it's following the head? I'd love some feedback. Anyone's got any opinions on that? Because I'm not really sure. I didn't have a helmet mount available. I don't know where my GoPro mounts all are, so I didn't use that today. Just the chest mount that came with this. Although, other than looking like a dork with a GoPro on your chest, I think it's pretty cool. And here, the bike was actually off. I tried to rip it, but I had let it idle down too low. So, I know my video is kind of all over the place, and it's not exactly the greatest riding video, but you know what? This is the trials and tribulations of buying an old bike, and odds are if you buy an old one, you're probably going to have some issues too. It's not going to be for, for $1,500. It's not going to be perfect, but I don't care. The handlebars on this bike, I guess I'm just going to leave it. I would have preferred if they had been blue. So the bike is kind of like, whatever, just all blue, or black and blue. But I don't know. I've thought about painting it, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when I actually pull the bike full apart. For now, I want to pull that carburetor off and try that. But in the winter, when I pull the bike apart, some of the parts may get swapped out. But once you've got the RPMs up or whatever, it runs fantastic. So it's a shame couldn't really do much trailing, but like I said, you guys see the trail wasn't really good today for it anyway. So thanks for joining me, guys. I know not the greatest video, but I will get out there and make better ones. We'll see you guys next time.